Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. This is also from Samyutta Nikaya, that is SN 12.2. And the name itself is also analysis of dependent origination. So previously, yesterday we had an analysis 45.8, but over here it is analysis of dependent origination. At Savati, students, I will teach you dependent origination and I will analyze it for you. Listen to that and attend closely. I will speak. Yes, Venerable Sir. Those students replied, and the Blessed One said this. And what student is dependent origination? With ignorance as condition, volitional formations come to be. Volitional formations we have discussed is from the kind of the speech, which is a thought, and action, which is that. So, or we can say thought, speech, and action, which is the volitional actions which we do. With volitional formations, consciousness. So, when these are volitional formations are there, then consciousness comes to be. When consciousness is there, mentality, materiality come to be. When mentality, materiality is there, then the six sense bases are there, which is eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Those six sense bases are there. When those six senses bases are there, then contact comes to be. Without eye, there is no contact of eye consciousness. So then there is what comes is contact comes. When the contact is there, feeling comes to be. So based on contact, there is feeling, which is of pleasant or unpleasant, or neither pleasant or unpleasant. So that is how that second step kind of comes into play. Now, when there is feeling, there is a craving which is there. The craving is I like it or I don't like it. That is the mind. When there is craving, there is clinging. Clinging is all the justification of why you like it or don't like it. When there is clinging, then the next step is of habitual tendency. The habitual tendency is if this happens, I do that. That is the habit. If somebody kind of shouts at me, I shout back at it. Or if somebody shouts at me, I feel hurt. If somebody shouts at me, I become angry. So there is a different actions are there. Now those actions can be individually different because habitual tendencies can be different. When there is habitual tendency, there is birth. What we mention over here in our thing, birth of action, because that is what we are looking at. So what happens is, if there is anger, then you may speak or you may kind of become quiet. So both are the same habit is there. So that is birth of action. Being quiet is also an action and speaking is also. When there is birth, there is death. Because whatever has started has to end. When there is death, there is sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. So these are the, such is the origin of the whole mass of suffering. So the whole mass of suffering is, the whole process is that, which is dependent origination. And what student is aging and death? So aging of various beings in the various orders of being. So aging is the aging of beings in various order of being. Now, what is the various orders? Means we are a sense-based order. Then there is another order where the senses are not there. Like fine, we are material beings. There are fine material beings and there are mental beings. So there are different there, but all have aging in a different manner. We have aging in different manner and they have aging in different manner. So now, what are those things? They're growing old, brokenness of teeth, grayness of hair, wrinkling of skin, decline of vitality, degeneration of the faculties. Now, degeneration of faculties is something which happens to us also, and it happens to the devas also, because degeneration of faculties is their kind of sense which is there can kind of weaken. The sense of smell weakens, and all those things happens over there also. This is called aging. The passing away of the various beings from the various orders of being. Means passing away also in different manner it happens. In human form or the physical form, passing away happens different. Humans are there, animals are there, their passing away is different. Then the passing away of devas are different. The passing away of material, that is the mind beings, which are there, they are different. They are from different ways that happen. The passing away of various beings from the various orders of being, their perishing, breakup, disappearance. So certain beings which are there in Devaloka, they don't have bodies. So when their time is over, they disappear. So now in one of some many of the suttas you will find they disappeared from this loka and they reappeared in this loka, or they disappeared from here and was born in a human form. So that is something. So that also is a death which is there. Mortality, death, completion of time, the breakup of the aggregates, the laying down of the carcass, which is if you have a body, there is a laying down of carcass. This is called death. Thus, this aging and death are to be together called aging and death. So now aging and death is the same thing as aging and death. But in our meditation, what we see as death is the end of that thought or end of that emotion, of end of that pain which you are coming. That is what you are seeing as death. That process which had started as a kind of worry, that worry ended. You six out the worry. That can end, or you can worry, and then you can become angry. So worry has died, anger has taken born. Or you can say a worry comes up and you six are, and when you six are, that worry has gone. So in both the ways, this can happen. So that is the that happens in this thing, aging and death. And what student is birth? The birth of various being in various orders of being. So over here also birth also it happened different places, different ways the birth happened. Their being born, descent into the womb, production, the manifestation of aggregates, the obtaining of the sense basis. This is called birth. So every place is different birth. So for any kind of has a body, has to have a womb, through womb, or will be in a egg form or something like that. But then there are other beings which have a spontaneous birth, like devas are there, and sometimes the water beings which are also called spontaneous birth, because water is there. We have kept the bottle, but when you see there are some beings which are there, worms kind of things which are you can see. So that is also called spontaneous birth. Then there are births because of the karmic effects, like being born in the mental realm is only possible because of the meditation which you have done, or Brahma lokas. Only you do meditation, only then you can go to Brahma lokas. You cannot go with the only merits. There are higher Deva lokas, but you cannot go to. So then, because of that, the birth is also different types based on different aspects. And what student is existence, or the becoming, or what you say habitual tendency. So existence which is there, which you are talking about, I'll explain as habitual tendencies also. There are these three kinds of existence: sense sphere existence, form existence, formless existence. This is called existence. Or we can say becoming also. There is one other translation which is there, is becoming. Becoming is, what do you become? You become sense sphere, means we have senses. Say animals have senses, the dogs, cats, those have senses. So they have sense sphere. So they have sense sphere beings. Then a form which is there. Then the form which is the there are subtle forms are there. There are subtle forms are there. Those forms which are there is Devaloka. So they have Devalokas will have bodies. They have senses, but they have the form which is there is subtle body which is there. It is not like our body. Then there is formless being. Formless are the mind loka. So where there is only Arupa loka. So Arupaloka, where there is only mind, where there is don't have any kind of a body which is there. So they are called formless existence. This is called the existence. Now, what we translate is as habitual tendencies. Why? Because we that habitual tendency generates. So when our habits are there, it generates emotions, it generates thoughts, it generates actions. So I go to a kind of a ice cream shop. I buy ice cream. Some people will not like ice cream. Some people will not eat sweet. My friend is there. If he eats sweet, no, his tongue will have blood droplets. He showed me once. I did not believe him. So many years, 20 years or more than that. So he took some sugar, put it on his tongue, and he said, I could see the kind of, he could just cannot tolerate sweet. So that kind of a person can also be there. So there is a habitual tendency which is there. So he liked very spicy thing. Everybody in his family likes spicy things. So that is a different way of having it. So that is how that habitual tendency comes. So that is becoming also. And what student is clinging? There are these four kinds of clinging. Clinging to sensual pleasures. So there is some kind of nice thing which happens. Nice, you see something, hear something, smell something, taste something, touch something, think of something. That is something which is when you what is there? That is I like it. I like it. Then yeah, there is a clinging to sensual pleasure, clinging to views. So views are there. So you have some point of view that everybody will kind of become awakened if they do something or not. That kind of view was there in the time of Buddha. If you do good or bad, you will become awakened. Some people had you do good, then you can only have goodness in this world, but there is nothing other world. So there are different kind of views which are there. So Buddha talks about that in Digha Nikaya 1, that is called a Brahmachala Sutta. So over there, he's giving 64 different views and how those views can be attained. So one of those views is like you have developed your psychic power through meditation or through some kind of chanting or something like that. You can see somebody die and be reborn in some other loka. Then you see that this person has done good in his life, but he is born in hell. So you say you have a new view you form. Oh, somebody doing good can go to hell. Now that is a wrong view. But he has not seen the whole picture. That many lifetime back he has done a lot of bad things, and this good which was there he will get in some other lifetime in the future. But what he had done in the past became due now. Because it became due, causes and conditions are right, so he went to hell. But what he did in this lifetime, which was good, which is he'll attain in the later life. So that is something which we cannot see. That is why we can form some wrong views. Even some people who have psychic powers can form wrong views. So that is why Buddha is saying we have to be careful. We have to not cling to any views. One way the Buddha also says when you have views, you keep it like this on the palm of your hand. You should not hold the views. You have to say this time I think in this way. Currently, my view is that this is the thing. Currently, my view is I am unable to do. But that will change. Then your view can be I can do. I can't do will change. I can. But if you hold on to that view, I cannot do, then that will come permanent. That is will not change. But all views should be currently this is the way it is. Now this is the way it is. So that is what Buddha says that you do should not cling. I think 64. For numbers don't I'm not so this thing precise. Clinging to sensual pleasures, clinging to views, clinging to rules and vows. So some people are very much kind of addicted to these rituals. Karma kand we called it. So we call that rituals only. So they say, oh, I'll do these rituals and I'll become this thing. I'll dip in the river and I'll become all my kind of this bad karma which is there will be washed away. Buddha says if you can dip in the water and get your bad karma washed away, all the dacoits will do that, no? And then they will not kind of go to hell, and then nothing wrong will happen to them. So all the robbers and all the people who do bad things will be dipping in the water day and night. So that is what the Buddha says. That don't hold on to karma kand also and rules and vows. Clinging to doctrine of self. So now that is a very heavy thing. So that is a permanent self. We have a self, but it is a temporary self. Always that self is changing. So one way, one monk is there in America. He is Bhikkhu Ajahn Jeff. I think Ajahn Tanisaro, that is his name. Pali name is Ajahn Tanisaro. So, Ajahn Tarisaro Riku will say that your self is changing. So, when you get up, your self is different. You are groggy and you say, don't talk to me before I have coffee. That is a popular phrase. No? Don't talk to me before I have coffee. So, then you go for a brushing. After brushing and washing your face, you are a different self. You feel it. After having coffee, you are a different self. You can talk to that person after having coffee. Now when you go to the traffic, there is a different self. One My sister previously was going commuting normally, and then we bought a car. When she bought a car, she wanted to learn. We learned the car and got the license and everything, but she did not have experience to go. So she had a colleague, a lady, who was staying where we were staying. So she went with her. So I will get some experience. Now that lady was always very kind of aggressive, kind of road rage kind of person. My sister is not like that person, but she learned from her that that is how you should drive a car. You have to be not kind of take anybody kind of not let anybody bully you. So she would be kind of very aggressive, and then she became very aggressive. My sister became very aggressive. Once some taxi was coming, she kind of banged into the taxi, and the car was a second-hand car. That was okay, but I was like shocked at that. That how can you kind of bang into something? The taxis are 20, 30 years old. They don't mind, you know. The taxis are at least bangar over there for them. But anyways, that is how you kind of learn and kind of accept a certain kind of things from others. So that is what you have to say, that I am a aggressive person. That it becomes a kind of a brand, that I drive like this, and you can take on that self also, that self of I am an aggressive driver. So that is what you have to be able to give up, that permanent self which is there. But then every time it changes. You go to office, then again it changes. Some people are very kind and nice in office, but when they come at home, they are very bossy, and maybe they are very kind of kind at home, and then they are bossy at work. So they can change. In that sense, every self which is there is has a changing self. So clinging to it should not be ego. Yes. But we make the ego permanent. One of the things which I was talking about was there was one guy who goes to the prisons. One of the, I'm saying guys, he is a monk. He was a Ajahn, a very senior monk in England. He used to go to this thing, prisons. And he was, I think, Nicholas Cage, not Nicholas Cage, some British actor is there, no? Hannibal actor. So that he was working with him at one point of time. Then he said, I don't want career of acting, and I want to become a monk. So he became a monk, and he used to kind of go to prisons. So he was talking to somebody in the prison, like one on one, and he was a gangster, big gangster. He said that I am a murderer. So he said, no, you are not a murderer. You are somebody who did a murder. So when you are doing a murder, you are murderer. When you are kind of being a student, you are a student. When you are a kind of a peaceful person, you are a peaceful person. So that is what you do. You are that. You are not permanent something. So don't label. So that ego is also a labeling thing. So when we label ourselves as incapable, then we are not able to. So that is what Henry Ford also said. No, if you think you can or you can't do, you are always right. So that is also ego part, which can be permanentized, but that is not permanent. It is a kind of saying that in this moment my ego is this, in that moment my ego is that. So then that is also a changing thing. So you don't take it as a cling to it. That is what he says, that you keep it on the palm of your hand, not cling it. So that is what all this thing which is happening, it is happening now. Now it is reality. We deal with it now. We have to 6 or 8, or we have to keep with it. Whatever we have to do, we do, which is in the present, which is there. And what student is craving? There are the 6 classes of craving: craving for forms, craving for sounds, craving for odors, craving for tastes, craving for tactile objects, craving for mental phenomena. This is called craving. So we want, certain people are like, I want to see paintings and this and that, or I have to go and see these mountains, and they are very much this thing. So my friend I was referring to, he is very much on in the hearing thing. If he hears something very finely, also he can say that, oh, this was a problem. So one story he told me about was, there was a guy who was wanting to have a very good recording system. So he purchased a very expensive recording system. So he was getting interference from the wires which are there. So he changed the wires to a very expensive wire. This is this must be a silver wire or something like that. He changed the system. So then the interference was coming from the transformer. So then what he did was, he went to the this thing and said, I want to change the transformer. They said, you have to purchase your own transformer. So the local transformer, you see, that local transformer is there. It is about 10 lakh to 15 lakh rupees. So he paid 15 lakh rupees to the this thing to buy a fresh, brand new transformer. So they removed that old transformer and put a new transformer. Now that the electricity transformer was perfect, his electrical line was perfect, his thing was perfectly tuned. When he started listening to music, he could find the faults done at the time of the recording. So that he could say that, oh, this. So then his joy for listening those tapes had gone. Because you are saying, oh, this has to be done, that over there they have not done this. So that all things started coming to his mind. Then he said, he actually at the end of the day he sold the music system because he went back to a lower grade system. So because that listening thing, that was so craving was there to listen to the perfect kind of music. Then the people are obsessed with smells. They have perfumes, this, that. And the people are, if you go to any mall, you see now in the malls, you have Chinese food, you have Japanese food, you have Korean food, you have Thai food, then you have Baluchi food, Rajasthani food. So there are so many foods in one mall, because why? People want different tastes. They want. Then there are tactile things, like people want soft things. They have this fidget spinners to kind of always feel something. There are soft things which are there. Then there are people in Japan obsessed with soft toys. They always want to have soft, they wear soft clothes. So there is an obsession which is there of any tactile. Some people have a thinking, so they are thinking philosophy, this philosophy, that philosophy, and then they are very much into their thinking. So that is all the things which are there. This is called craving. And Bante says the simplified version is, I like it, I don't like it. That is the craving. So I like it also craving, I don't like it also craving. So that is how it happens. And what student is feeling? There are these 6 classes of feeling. Feeling born of eye contact, feeling born of ear contact, feeling born of nose contact, feeling born of tongue contact, feeling born of body contact, feeling born of mind contact. This is called feeling. So now when there is a contact, there is a feeling. Now feeling is that there is perception also. So we perceive how the perception is. It is painful. It is pleasant. It is neither painful nor pleasant. That is the perception is that. There is consciousness also, because without consciousness you cannot know the feeling. So if a unconscious person is there and you take a pin, and will they be able to feel the prick? They cannot feel. There should be consciousness, and the consciousness is there, but there is no contact. Then there can be any feeling? There cannot be any feeling. There is zero perception rooms which are there. They put saline water, and they kind of lie you in a tub, which is a kind of a bathing tub kind of thing, and that saline is can hold your weight, and the temperature is perfect with your body temperature. They darken the room, and then you stay there. There is no sense perception which is there. So then there cannot be any kind of contact which is happening over there. So that is also one of the ways. So when there is feeling, there is also perception and consciousness. That's a important concept which you have to know. Huh? No body contact. I feel some feeling. It's not to contact body. That tingling is a mental contact. So when there is no physical contact, there can be a mental contact. So there can be pain also, and when you get up, the pain is not there. So that pain was not physical. If the physical pain was there, if you get up, it will happen. One of the meditators said that the moment I ask, I make a determination to get up, all the pain in my body goes. Then I say I'll then sit longer. The moment I decide I will sit longer, my pain come back. So sometimes it can be so visible, predictive. Huh? So that can be mental pain, and that sometimes I'm tingling feeling on all those things. Sometimes there are some nerve things which are there, which are physical. That can happen. The tingling feeling may come, pain may come because of nerve. Nothing is happening, but that is that. So it can still be physical. So it is difficult to know. Now, what is the contact? Now, before that feeling, then there is what is that? There is contact, and what is feeling? Now, feeling has happened. So now what is there, and what student is contact? There are the six classes of contact: the eye contact, the ear contact, the nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, and mind contact. This is called contact. So now, how for the contact to happen, there should be three things should be there. There is first is the working eye. Say, I am talking about only eye contact. Working eye is there. Then there is an object is there. So light is also given. Light is there. So the object is there, and there is a eye consciousness. Meeting of the three is contact. If I don't have an eye, I cannot have eye contact. But I can have ear contact. I have, there is a ear is there is sound is there, and sound consciousness is there. But I am not conscious. There is a sound is there. There is a working ear is there, but I am not conscious. There is not. There cannot be ear contact. So there is a consciousness of ear contact is there, that becomes a contact, and that is how we can have that thing. And what students is what students are the six sense bases. The six sense bases are the same: the eye base, ear base, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So those are the six bases. And what student is name and form. So now we are talking about name and form. Over here it is there. So feeling, perception, volition, contact, attention, this is called name. So these four things which are there are name. So I'll repeat: feeling, perception, volition. Volition is our ability to choose when we have to 6R and when we have to let go. That is the choice which we can make. Contact, which we discussed just before. Attention. So where we can put our attention. So that is the thing which are volition, con- contact, and attention. This is called name. The four great elements and the form derived from the four great element. This is called form. So the four great elements which are there, which is water, uh, earth, water, fire, and air, which are the four great elements. And what student is consciousness? Here are the six classes of consciousness: eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. This is called consciousness. But these are potential consciousness. In this chart, when we are talking about consciousness, consciousness cannot remain without its subjects. Without eye, there cannot be eye consciousness. Without ear, there cannot be ear. So there is consciousness is there, and there is name and form is there. Both are to be interdependent, because without consciousness, there cannot be name and form. Without name and form, they cannot exist in consciousness. So they are both interdependent. These things are interdependent. So one, if it is not there, the other does not exist. And what students are the volitional formation? These are the three kinds of volitional formation: bodily volitional formation, verbal bodily volitional formations, the mental volitional formation. These are called volitional formations. Now, this volitional formation is also potential. Over here in this chart, when we are showing this, it is potential, because they will be reflecting after the feeling which is there coming up, perception. So then the formations comes up after the habitual tendency. That is birth of action. When the birth of action is there, then the action is there with the physical, mind, and speech. That happens. So, but these are potential which is there. So these are the foundational thing. And what is the physical volitional formations, which are verbal and mental. Those are formed after the habitual tendencies. And what students are ignorant, what student is ignorance, not knowing suffering, not knowing the origin of suffering, not knowing the cessation of suffering, not knowing the way leading to the cessation of suffering. This is called ignorance. Ignorance is not that you are stupid, it means that you don't know, you don't have that information. You may be the most intelligent person, but if you don't have that information, then you will not. There are one or two things added in this, is also the three characteristics of the universe, which is the impermanence, which is the dukkha, and what is the other, which is anatma, which is the impersonality, which is there. These are the things which are there, which you don't know. And what you don't know is four noble truths and dependent origination. So four noble truths, the three characteristics, and dependent origination. And all steps of dependent origination can be put in the four noble truths. So if you say craving, craving we have, definitely we have, but we can say feeling, which is there. Feeling, there is feeling. There is a reason for the feeling. What is the reason? Contact. There is a cessation of the feeling. You let go of the this thing, contact. There is no cessation. There is a way leading to the cessation of feeling, which is the eightfold path. We can say of the clinging also. Any of the steps we can explain. There is ignorance. There is a reason for the ignorance. There is a cessation of ignorance, and there is a way leading to the cessation of ignorance. So, four noble truths can be applied to all the 12 steps of the dependent origination. There is birth, there is a reason for the birth, there is cessation of the birth, and there is a way leading to the cessation of the birth. So, all those four noble truths is there in all the 12 steps of the dependent origination. So, they are all in one kind of interdependent thing. And there is a reason for ignorance also. So that is also not without cause. There is with a cause that ignorance is there. Thus, students, with ignorance as condition, volitional formations come to be. With volitional formations as conditions, consciousness. With consciousness as condition, name and form. With name and form as condition, six sense basis. With six sense basis as conditions, contact. With contact as condition, feeling. With feeling as condition, craving. With craving as condition, clinging. With clinging as condition, habitual tendencies. With habitual tendencies as condition, birth of action. With birth of action as condition, death, aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. So that is there. And in kind of this thing, there is also the cessation also is there. When you give up skip birth, then there cannot be a death. And to give up birth, you have to give up the habitual tendency. To give up the habitual tendency, you have to give up the clinging. If you give up the clinging, you have to give up the craving. You have to give up the craving. So that is, you have to give up the ignorance. If you give up the ignorance, then everything will not be there. So that is how this whole thing of the origin of suffering works. But with the reminderless fading away and cessation of ignorance comes the cessation of volitional foundations. Formations. With the cessation of volitional formations, cessation of consciousness. Such is the cessation of the whole mass of suffering. So that is how one by one all of them cease when there is no ignorance. So ignorance is also not without condition. There is another sutta which is there, Anguttara Nikaya. I am forgetting this thing. It is 10.61, I think so. The Buddha is talking about there is no origin of the universe which we can say, but we can say that there is an origin of ignorance. There is a basis of ignorance. What is the basis of ignorance? Is the five hindrances. When because those five hindrances are there, there is ignorance are there. What is the basis of five? This is not doing correct thing with body, speech, and mind. What is not doing body, speech, and mind is breaking precepts. Why is the breaking of precept is there? Because we don't have our senses in control. Because we don't have senses in control, we do breaking of precepts. When we break up precept, that is directly related to the hindrances. So hindrances are directly related to your keeping of the precepts. Now, why is our senses not in control? Because we don't have sati sampajanya, which we talked about in the 107 sutta, which is your mindfulness and clear comprehension. Why is mindfulness and clear comprehension not there? Because we don't have attention. We don't have clear attention. Okay, which is skillful attention, which is there, which we don't have. Why don't we have skillful attention? Which because we don't have faith in the practice. Why we don't have faith in the practice? Because we don't listen to the Dhamma. Why we don't listen to the Dhamma? Because we don't have Kalyana Mitta, which is the spiritual friend. So with having spiritual friend, we listen to the Dhamma. When we listen to the Dhamma, we have faith. When we have faith, we have clear attention. When we have a proper attention, we have mindfulness and clear comprehension. When we have mindfulness and clear comprehension, what will have? We have sense restraint. When we have sense restraint with body, speech, and mind, we will not do wrong things. Now, instead of having the hindrances, we will have developed the foundations of mindfulness. That is, the four foundations of mindfulness is body, feeling, mind, and mind objects or dhammas or phenomena that we will be able to observe. That is what we are doing in meditation also. We are observing that. When we are observing that, there's seven factors of awakening develops. Now, there's seven factors of awakening is mindfulness. It starts with mindfulness. If mindfulness is there, you know what is there in the mind. So investigation automatically happens. If mindfulness is there, automatically investigation happens. You know that your mind is restless or you have sloth and torpor. You will know. When you know that, balance of energy automatically happens. If you know what will happen is you have sloth and torpor, you put in more energy. But you have restlessness, you relax more. So you balance the energy. When balance energy is there, joy arises. Piti, which is there, arises. When piti is there, pasati is there, tranquility is there. So when the mind has joy, then the body is tranquil. When the body is tranquil, then what happens is you go into samadhi. That is in jhanas you go. Your mind is in collectedness. When collectedness is there, then upekha comes. That is equanimity. So that when those things become balanced, then what goes? Ignorance goes. When you have true knowledge, and true knowledge is there, ignorance is cut. So then, when ignorance is cut, the whole chain falls. That is how there is escape. So having good friends is very the start of the Dhamma. Kalyana Mitra. So one of the times Ananda asked Buddha and said that I think the having Kalyana Mitra, good friend, is like the half of the holy life. So Buddha says, don't say that, don't say. It is like the full of the holy life is having a good this thing. If you don't have a good friend, then go alone. That is a kind of a poem by Rabindranath Tagore, no? Ekla chalo re. So that is what Buddha also said, that you go alone. If you don't have a friend, you go alone. But have a good friend. Don't have a bad friend. So that is the dependent origination. We'll take something more also on dependent origination. There is a new way of looking at it. That is Majjhima Nikaya 18. It's called Honeyball Sutta. We'll take that sutta tomorrow, and that will have more update on how it's a practical thing also, how it happens, and it's a very kind of nice sutta. So we'll go with that next time. So any questions are there?
Can you explain please that word potential?
Potential means that it is possible to happen. So now when we are going through these things, certain times what happens is sankhara, we say that avidya pachaya sankhara. So now sankharas are not created. How sankharas? Because the body is coming afterwards. See, a body is coming in the fourth kind of step. But how can there be body action, verbal action, mental action? So that is not what it is. It is just showing that there is a potential for those actions. When there is ignorance, then there is a potential of those actions. Why do we kind of speak or do something? Because we don't know what is the consequence of that. So somebody steals something because they don't know what is the kind of punishment they are going to get. If they don't have that understanding, if they had that understanding, they would not do. One example is Buddha is talking about that if you knew as I know the kind of the merits of giving dana, then a person would, if they had a last roti, it is better to they would dana than eat themselves. So that is because we don't know, we don't do dana. We are very kind of stingy. We are kind of very holding on to our things. Why? Because we don't kind of know the things. So in that sense, same sense, the Buddha says, why do we do wrong things? Because we don't know the consequence of that, how much you suffer. In one of the suttas, the Buddha is trying to kill bugs. You go to a hell where how you suffer. So if we know that, then we will not kill bugs, because then we know that okay, this is something which is there. So why not knowing only we do? So then that is why the potential of sankhara comes in. When there is a potential of sankhara, consciousness also has a potential. Then nama rupa is there. So in one of the previous Buddhas, I think Buddha Vipassana, he went till only consciousness. He did not explore the other two, sankhara and ignorance. He said that, okay, what is consciousness? Now consciousness is there, but there is nama rupa is there, but they are both are interlinked. This consciousness has to be dependent on nama rupa. No, if there is no body and mind, how can consciousness be there? There has to be there body and mind. But if the consciousness is not there, how can body come? Because conscious effort is required for the body to come, and how then those are interlinked. So now when we come to in that sense reality, that is the fourth step which is there, but it is impersonal. We don't have any, we have body and mind. Did we create the body and mind? No, we were born into this. So this is what is called impersonal. We don't have direct control on that. That's the reason this when we are talking on this thing. You see this over here chart, it has been mentioned. You can also see this chart which is there. So over here, when we are going to green, we are impersonal. So body and mind we have the six sense basis. So if you open your eyes, contact will happen. No? If your eyes is closed and you open the eyes, you say, can you say that I will not see after opening my eyes? No, contact will automatically happen. When contact is there, feeling will automatically come up. So those things are impersonal. Now, when I like it, I don't like it is there. There you can shiksar them in that sense. But when you are in kind of higher meditation, you can shiksar before feeling also. Sometimes contact also you can shiksar. As soon as contact happens, you relax, nothing happens. And so people have stayed there in the kind of without anything happening for 3 hours. 3 hours, 4 hours, they can see without anything arising. Because as soon as the contact is going to happen, they can siksar, relax and let it go. So that kind of mind state you can go. But you can siksar when you are clinging, that is, your mind is wavering. Some thoughts come, some initial thoughts are coming. Then there is a habitual tendency that is going towards the thought, thinking of the thoughts. That means then you are involved in the thoughts. When you are thinking, then you recognize. That is the death of the thought. When you recognize, then you release, relax, re-smile and come back. So at any stage of this, you can, then what happens is certain times your thought is going, and then as soon as the thought has gone, you release. That is at the birth of the action, you have released it. Sometimes the mind is wavering. That time this is the kind of habitual tendencies are getting activated. That time you can let go. Sometimes you can let go at craving. As soon as the clinging and tension and tightness comes up, you recognize it and just let it go. And there is no thoughts which comes. So these are the things which are personal, because that is what happens, which is there. Now, this which is there, marna is not in our hand, because that is something which is beyond our things. It happens automatically when something starts, it has to end. I think we have to kind of update this nama rupa. Contact, feeling, craving is there. We have to add the volition and the attention. Any other questions? If there are no questions, then we can. We'll share the merits. May suffering once be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu.